What's up? What's happening? Welcome to another edition of the Minor League Take. I'm your host, Brad Case, and on this week of the podcast, we got Cam Vieaux, the red-headed wonder from Detroit. Happy to have him on. He is a joy to have in the locker room and down in the bullpen. He has been all over the place. He's played minor league baseball for quite a while. I believe he was part of the 2016 class, and he has been, just crushing it all the way through. And I think next year could be a really big year for him as he tries to, make his major league debut. Because he's got the numbers. He's got the numbers and he's got the talent. So I'm excited to see what he can do next year going forward. But as always, this is brought to you by More Than Baseball. More Than Baseball is a fantastic organization trying to help minor leaguers like myself and the guys on this podcast, try to get some better rights. And they would do a lot of work with advocates for minor league baseball. You can go join their movement with #FairBall. You can go to their website, buy a bracelet, it's $10. It goes to them. And they're a huge organization that's going to be a big difference maker in the years to come for, the minor league conditions. They got us housing for this year, which is a huge step in the right direction. I'm excited to see how that goes. But go check both them out, More Than Baseball and Advocates for Minor League Baseball. But without further ado, here is Cam Vieaux.
Thanks, Cam Vieaux, for coming on the show today, man. It's been a good summer getting to know you, and here we are, finally on the Minor League Take. How you been?
Been pretty good, Kaiso, man. Thanks for having me on. You made me a promise back probably early May, mid-May, that I'll be the first guest on, and that means a lot that you kept your word. Pretty cool, man.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna be able to keep a straight face for much of this. Yeah, man, thank you a lot for coming on again. You have played in some pretty big D1 games. You played through some pretty cool minor league games. And I really am excited to, share your story and talk about how you ended up in Michigan State and all that stuff. So let's start with what high school baseball kind of looks like for Cam Vieaux.
So I mean, I'm sure it's pretty comparable to New York, in that it's like playing against first graders sometimes. The competition isn't great up here in Michigan, but no, I mean, it was fun. I played 4 years of varsity. Honestly, was kind of just an athlete, didn't really know what I was doing, had a solid curveball that I could get strikeouts with. But
your big thing was football, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played football as well, basketball. It's just pretty much whatever season I was in, that was what I wanted to continue playing. And I think that kind of helped me out with keeping my arm healthy and allowing me to continue my career into my late 20s now.
Yeah, I mean, just developing as an athlete overall. I mean, basketball and football are huge, helps in that. But when it came to playing college sports, you originally had your sights on football, right?
Yeah. I mean, definitely had some opportunities there. And there was another thing where as football got further away, as like my senior season got further away from me, the idea of actually continuing to play football kind of didn't seem as fun. And I kind of knew, being a left-handed pitcher, the future, if I wanted to continue playing sports, the future was probably with baseball, and ended up getting a preferred walk-on spot over at Michigan State, and kind of took advantage of the opportunity and had like a little tryout thing in the fall, and ended up sticking around, and the rest was history from there.
Yeah, that's a pretty big risk. I know other guys have been offered stuff like that, and personally, to me, that something like that always really scared me, because it's like, hey, you might get a spot, you might not. Were you super confident going into that, or were you a little cautious as well?
I mean, you can kind of see my basement here. It's all Michigan State, so
It's big in the family.
I wanted to go to Michigan State. So no matter what I had to do to get in there to play, I would do it. And if it didn't work out and I got to be a student, I think I would have been content with that at the time. I mean, it was a dream come true to play for the green and white.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The Spartans. Was there something big that happened in those, during that freshman tryout period when they kind of, let you stand out to the coaches and kind of give them a like, hey, this is who I am. I can do this. I can compete with these guys.
Not necessarily that first year. I've looking back on it, I really got rocked. I got hit around hard, and I think I just kept coming back, and I think that's maybe something they saw. And I just continued to work and continued to develop. Go ahead.
What was your first year at Michigan State? Because I was trying to find it earlier, and all I could find was 2014.
2013 was my first year. I was redshirted. And then 2014 was my redshirt freshman year, and that's when I got going.
I was gonna say, like, your freshman year, like your first year of college stats is 3.1 ERA. That's through 70 innings. Like, you showed up and you were legit. You were ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a situation where we had tried a bunch of guys out in a starting role, and we finally got to the point where my name got called. I was like the sixth option, and just kind of ran with it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, getting an opportunity, no matter how you get it, you got to just run with it. And you clearly did there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then, you play another 2 years, and then you get invited to the Cape Cod League with the Harwich Mariners, right?
Yep.
And I mean, that's
best summer of my life. That was so much fun.
Best summer of your life.
Yeah.
What was awesome, who were some of the guys that were on that team with you? Any big names now?
Probably the biggest name would be Kevin Vieaux. Obviously he's and then, like, as far as famous dads goes, we had Preston Palmero on that team. A couple other guys that are playing baseball still. Sheldon Noisy, who was he with this year? Maybe Oakland. Kind of bouncing around at this point.
Yeah.
We had a lot of talent on that team, ton of guys.
It's always cool to look at those rosters because they're gonna, like, years down the road, they always end up being a lot of dudes that play in that league. It's always a pretty cool experience. But for me personally, as I went to the Cape, I started realizing, like, oh shit, like, I think I have a shot of, like, getting drafted one day. Was that kind of when it happened for you too?
Yeah, I mean, I got drafted while I was in the Cape by Detroit.
Oh shit.
And kind of had an opportunity to throw for some more money, if you will. They'd offered me X amount and said, I was like, well, I'm a redshirt sophomore, so I feel like I've got a little bit of leverage here. I'm in the Cape. Why don't we see what happens and make another offer at the deadline? Things ended up not working out, which is totally fine. I got to go back to state for what I call my senior year and kind of just go dominate the Big Ten for a little bit and go get drafted again.
Yeah, absolutely. Does that mean a lot to you that, Detroit, your hometown team, picked you?
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know. I wish I had a different mindset back when it happened because as a competitor, you just feel like you should be going where you feel you belong.
Yeah.
And I kind of slipped down to the 19th round that year and felt I wanted to go in the top 10 rounds just because I was a 21-year-old kid who just wanted to look sweet. So I wish I would have appreciated the moment a little bit more. But yeah, it was awesome. Both my roommates, Blaze Salter and Cam Gibson, were drafted by them that year. So it was super cool for all of us.
That's really cool, man. Were you with family at least when it happened, or was it the middle of a game sitting in the bullpen?
I was, we were going to play at YD that day. I was on the bus? At my host. No, I was still at home. My roommate was working. Like, you remember in the Cape, you had to run the camps in the morning or whatever. So my roommate was doing that. I was watching Blues Brothers inside, and he came in and was like, "Dude, did you see Twitter? You just got drafted." I was like, "What? No way."
That's sick.
So that's how I found out. And then get to the field, obviously, and all the boys were congratulating me. It was cool.
That is really cool. That is a really cool moment. But that's sick. Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I guess unfortunately, I don't know. You ended up saying no to the Tigers. Things didn't work out, and then you go back to what your senior year is at Michigan State, or your redshirt junior year.
Redshirt junior,
pitch, and then the Pirates come knocking later that year, right?
Yep. Yep. That time I was with my parents. That was pretty cool.
That's good.
We had a better idea that it was going to
Yeah,
happen too. So we kind of were able to plan things out and have it on TV and everything. So it
that's
was
really
super cool.
special.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What round was it again?
The Swag Six.
The Swag
Swag
Six. Where
round.
they had it on TV
Yeah.
then?
It was on like MLB Network or whatever, the ticker thing, or maybe it was even online, but we
Still,
had
you
it
had
on
it. Yeah, you had it
our
on the
big
TV. You
screen
had
so
some
that
friends and
everyone could
family
see it.
over. It's a really special moment. And then, they ship you out to
Morgantown.
right to Morgantown, right?
Went to
What was your
Pittsburgh to
first
sign.
impressions? Oh yeah, Pittsburgh to sign, which is always a really cool experience.
Yeah.
But then out to Morgantown for your first, taste of pro ball. What were some of your first impressions?
I was like, dude, what is this shit? Fucking Pirates, old Pirates had
Yeah,
they're like, dude,
the
you gotta
old military
shave.
style.
Yeah, those cleats are cool, but you can't wear them.
What did you have? All white
So
cleats?
I think I got like some black and white cleats or some all whites.
Oh man.
And they said, no chance, eh? Make sure you pull your pants up too. No,
Yeah.
but it was super cool. I'm a college sports fan, so like getting able to go to Morgantown and just be in a city like that and experience a new town was super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was only in Morgantown for I think like a week, and it was a good time while I was there, but I didn't really get too much of a taste
It
of
was
the
a
town
perfect transition too from college
from
to
college into
professional
football
baseball.
because you still get a little
Just
bit of
because
college. Yeah,
you're in the college town, and it was a great opportunity, good setup.
that sounds like a good time. Um, but then, man, I mean, I'm looking at your baseball reference page right here, and you had kept you've kept your feet moving pretty much your whole career. Like you went to low A, then you went to high A, and you just kept on moving along. Until 2018, you even made it to double A. You were flying through the system.
Mm-hmm.
Were did you feel the excitement then? And, were you feeling really good and positive about the way your career was going to that point?
I don't know. You know me pretty good now. I kind of
Yeah.
just stay the
Very
same the entire
tranquil. Yeah.
way.
I'm
I
trying to
think
see if
that
there was a day in your life where you were like all amped up and,
I mean I get super competitive while I'm out there, but
oh yeah.
I kind of just let all the other stuff take control. I was like that when I was in college. I'm not quite sure what made me have the mindset flip, but I used to just like want to be the best at everything and like want to be number one in all categories, and that eventually you learn you can't be that. You got to just kind of be the best version of what you got. Um, so I kind of not sure, like I said, not sure when that happened, but it kind of did, and that kind of makes everything go smoother as far as like expectations go for the seasons, because of like you're expecting to be here and you end up here. Things can go south quickly if you
Mhm.
have the wrong mindset.
Yeah. Control the controls is a big thing that
Mm-hmm.
we talk about with the Pirates. And I think it's a really positive thing to always kind of keep your eye on. Have you made it into any All-Star games?
I did. I made the low A All-Star game.
Oh yeah. How was that?
Um, it was cool. I didn't pitch
That's a
because
bummer.
I got moved up to high A the day before the All-Star game. So yeah, it ended up just being like a classic Campview travel day. Um, play the All-Star game. They had like the post All-Star game party, and then I had a 4 a.m. flight to Bradenton where I
Jeez.
pitched. Yeah. So
That's tough. You pitched the next day?
I'm pretty sure I pitched the next day, either that or the day after that.
Right. I mean, you at least got to go
But yeah,
experience it though.
they let me get the experience. Then I find out like a couple weeks later from 40 or someone in Bradenton that they'd known I was coming up for a week. They just wanted me to get the All-Star game experience, and I was like, dude, come on! Like I would much rather get 3 good nights of sleep,
Yeah. I had
easy
the
travel,
opposite. I had the opposite happen to me. I moved up a week before the All-Star game
and you missed it.
and then I missed it. And I was like, oh, I kind of wish I was there, but I got moved up to high A. So I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah,
Um,
it was
but
cool though. I mean, ton of good players.
yeah,
Obviously, in the All-Star game, you kind of get to see the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Any big names that you saw at that All-Star game that made you go, oh shit, I got to make sure I keep an eye on this guy?
Hmm. I mean, pretty much everyone is in the big leagues except for me. I feel like that was in that game. Ton of guys like Ranger Suarez. I remember ripping some tequila shots with him. He's with the Phillies. I for whatever reason I was hanging out with the Phillies guys. Jojo Romero, the Red Bull guy
I've
who
heard of
smashes
him.
it on his
Oh
head
yeah,
before
I
he
have
comes
seen that
out.
guy. Yeah,
Eh.
that's pretty cool.
Um, who else is there? What's his name? Daniel Johnson. He was with Cleveland at the time. He's now with Washington, I believe, or maybe somewhere else. I haven't seen
Cool.
him in a few years, but he's a good player.
Nice.
A lot of good guys,
Nice.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So as someone that's played through, I mean, you've played through all of our levels. What's real quick off the top of your head, what's been your favorite town to play in?
What do you think?
It's got to be Altoona, right?
Yeah, heaven on earth.
The Altoona faithful, best
God's
fans in the
country.
world.
Yep.
God's country.
No, I love Altoona, man. That's something about that park. I just love playing there.
It's a good.
But
It's a good
hopefully,
spot.
I never have to play there again.
Hopefully, I know. That's one of the weird things
Never
about
know.
minor league baseball is that you got to love it on the ride through and like enjoy all the steps, but ultimately like what we're playing for and what we're trying to get is to not be there and to get out and
Exactly.
to continue moving.
Yeah, I think I've said my final goodbye.
I hope so. But then, you spent time of 2019 and 2021 in Indy. One step away from the big leagues. How exciting is it, to get called into the manager's office and told like, hey, you're going to AAA, knowing that it's even like your dream is even closer and closer.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And then you get in the locker room and you've just got all these guys that you've kind of grown up watching at times. I was it the third time I was sent up this year was I went
Oh
to
my God. Yeah.
Minneapolis and I walk in the locker room and B Gordon's sitting right there. So like it's pretty
I forgot
crazy
about
that
that.
like yeah, super cool. You're just
Yeah.
running into different guys that have played all over the place. That's the craziest part about it. But yeah, it's awesome. The stadiums get cooler, crowds get bigger.
Mhm.
Your mistakes get exposed a little bit more. It's the game just gets the ever so slightly tougher, but it's super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Has there anybody that you played against or played with that you were kind of like taken aback for a second, going like, oh shit, like that's so and so?
Hmm. I'm sure there is. Um, that's a really good question.
You can take
Come
your
back
time if
to
you
me
want
on
a
that one.
second. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Um,
I
sorry.
guess I faced in 2019 the Mets lineup was pretty stacked. They had like Rajay Davis leading off, Ruben
Oh my
Tejada
God.
was in the lineup, a few other big leaguers that had a ton of time. I think they had like 69 years of MLB service time on the roster.
Nice. Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, there you go. Um, yeah, just playing against teams like that I mean, I was a Tiger fan, so I think Rajay was with Detroit in like 2013 through 15. So he was pretty fresh in my mind. As a former Tiger, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet. I mean, I get to face Urshela this year, and I was pretty pumped about that
Oh yeah.
myself, just for him,
Hmm.
being a Yankee recently, even though I'm definitely not a Yankee fan at all anymore. At
Yeah, you
all.
are.
So throughout your career, I think you've stayed relatively healthy, right?
Yeah.
You pretty much stayed
As
healthy the
far
whole
as
time.
major injuries go, I've been extremely healthy and lucky.
Yeah, it's
Um, not didn't necessarily do anything preventative. My first, I don't know, 4 years of pro ball, I kind of just went out there and winged it and kind of ran myself into the
just
ground.
stayed loose. Yeah,
Yeah, by the end of 2019, I could not lift my arm.
really.
So at that, I mean, I'm over exaggerating like every other baseball player, but it it was definitely the worst I've felt in my career. So at that point, I kind of switched my off-season training and went to more of like a prehab type thing, more stretching, just functional movements, things like that. My trainer is a physical therapist as well. So like we kind of just knock everything out at once. And I think that's kind of helped me the last couple of years, along with getting the break for COVID to just recover.
Yeah.
I've kind of just gotten myself back, and hopefully we don't have to deal with any more issues moving forward other than getting hit by line drives.
I was going to say, yeah, the only real big injury you've had in your career is just a unlucky line drive, which you really can't do anything about, but
yeah, hit your spot.
It's just hit your spot, kid. That's
Yeah.
all you can do. That's all you can do. That's right though. With the COVID year, going into 2019, you end between AA and AAA playing really well in both places. Going into 2020, what was kind of what was your mindset? What was your kind of goal going into that year?
I mean, that was the year.
That was gonna be the year, right?
Yeah, basically, once you get to AAA, it seems like every year going into it, you got to tell yourself this is the year. Let's go get it. So yeah, I kind of had that same mindset the last 2 years. Unfortunately, I've had my feelings hurt a couple times the last couple of years, but
Yeah,
it's just different things happen, and you got to get hot at the right time and just be ready to go whenever, and the time will come.
that's ultimately like the best message to like kind of keep through that. I mean, and that's one of the main reasons why I want to have you on here, is because you're so like, yeah, like shit's gonna happen one way or the other, and like the only thing you can do is just try to pitch your best.
Yeah,
And
all you can do is just go out there every 5 days or 6 days now and
yeah,
do your thing.
absolutely.
Leave your nuts out there.
So without the 2020 season, what did the COVID year look like for you? Were you do you have some guys getting together to throw every day?
Yeah, we had a good group. We got Alman, Alex Manassa,
Yep.
Another pirate who will probably be on the pod soon.
Hopefully.
And then we got guys from all over. Got a lot of talent here in the Detroit area. So as far as live ABs went, we'd always have at least 2 catchers, 4 or 5 guys to face. So we all stayed sharp, and we got all the boys back this year, already back at it training. So we're ready to go.
Excited to see it, man. Excited to see it for next year. Unfortunately though, you know, to end the year you broke your foot, but going into now 2022, what's going to be like the ultimate? Obviously, making the big leagues is going to be the big prize for you. But what do you think that's going to look like? How do you plan on trying to make it to the big leagues this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen without me just tightening things up and getting consistent. Just getting my body moving the way I want to and having my direction consistent. And just kind of fine tuning everything. At this point, it's not necessarily learning something new. It's just getting consistent, being in the strike zone consistently. When I get ahead in the count, I get guys out, and when I'm behind, I don't get guys out. So that's the approach I'm going to have going into this, pretty much.
And hopefully, we're going to get you in a black and gold jersey by the end of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Ski.
Yes, sir. Ski. Well, hey, seriously, thank you a lot for coming on. Just kind of wrap up though. If you can go back in time and tell 16-year-old Cam Vieaux, give him some advice, talk to him for a little bit, what would you tell him?
Learn to change up, not hammer that down early. And to just like slow down, kind of analyze things, ask questions. Don't just do things, kind of find out why you're doing a certain movement, like why you're doing a certain drill, and figure out how you can tailor everything to your game. And because I mean, that's something I didn't learn until I was like 3 years into pro ball. I kind of just always was like, all right, I trust what you're telling me, so I'm just going to do it. And I never do something and just have it click. Oh, I need my hip hinge because that's going to help me have better direction or whatever. Yeah. So just kind of just to be cognizant, ask questions, be curious. That's what I would say.
Sweet. That's awesome, man. I think a lot of guys are gonna, a lot of younger guys that listen to this podcast are gonna appreciate that. The last question though that I ask everybody before we end the podcast: when are the Pirates gonna win the World Series, man? When do you got your prediction for us taking the whole thing?
I mean, I'm very high on this young group we have. This was my first year of really playing with all the prospects. It's coming. Might not be next year, but it's coming. We've got some good dudes, man. It's going to be fun to watch the next few years.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be really scary if people plan out, or if people pan out the way they're supposed to, because it's just talent is up and down the roster. It's going to be a good time.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, you got anything else for the people before you go?
No, man.
All right. Thanks for coming on the podcast today, Cam.
Thanks for having me, Case. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Thanks, guys, for checking out another episode. Thank you again to Cam for coming on. I think his message of, taking in as much information as you can from a young age is going to benefit you the most. Typically, the smartest guys end up being those higher round guys because they are so smart and because they've done the work and they've paid attention to stuff. And I think information is something that you can always gain more of. There's never such thing as too much information, but I really encourage you guys follow Cam Vieaux. You go check him out. He's a fun follow on Twitter. So go find him. But then, again, as always, thank you guys for checking out another episode, and I will see you next week.